fully modular interior, beautiful exterior, and completely silent. The Define R5 from Fractal Design. Link in the description for pricing and availability. Hello everyone, I'm Dimitri with Hardware Canucks, and I want to say right off the bat that there are not many things to love about the new Dell Venue 87000 Android tablet. It is a new direction for the company to compete in this high price bracket for Android devices, and one thing they sure managed to do is generate the hype for the world's thinnest tablet, as this thing is only 6mm thick. Check it out side by side with my two daily used devices, the iPhone 5s on the right, and I already think that's incredibly thin, and the Nvidia Shield tablet on the left, when compared to the Venue 87000, looks and feels so chunky already. So the tablet being so thin, you're most likely skeptical of the tablet bending or feeling weird for handling, but that's not the case at all. It is running an Intel Atom quad-core CPU, the Z3580 at 1.3 GHz with boost up to 2.3, PowerVR G6430 Intel HD graphics, 16 GB of eMMC flash for storage and 2 GB of RAM, and Intel 7260 wireless AC, and on top of Android 4.4 KitKat. And so coming back to the format, the aluminum chassis is clearly reinforced. It feels premium in the hands. The buttons, while in a kind of an awkward spot, are clicky and follow in line with excellent construction. At the bottom there's a headphone and micro USB port and micro SD card slot on the side for expandable storage, and that's always a major positive for media consumption devices like this. And man, look at that bezel, impressively housing an 8.4-inch 2560 by 1600p OLED display. So there's nothing to give but praise to Dell for the overall outstanding build quality. The image is crisp and PPI is high, but the color accuracy and the saturation of the display is just way off. It's an overly saturated image, you know, if you're into that, but there's also gamma and color shifting when reducing brightness, with a very visible purple tone in the shadows. They have managed to create an almost pure black, so that's a positive, but the saturation in the red is just non-pleasant. And here it is next to the Nvidia Shield tablet, and while I do appreciate that extra pop on the Dell, it is a shame that you cannot tone it down a bit. Games and content looks fantastic, don't get me wrong, but looking at such an overly vibrant display gets tiring on the eyes, you know, after a few hours. Now, being only 305 grams, seriously, this is a super lightweight tablet. I found this to be sort of perfect for one hand holding without any strain on the wrist after an extended period of time. This is also due to the lip on the one side. That's both a major benefit when in portrait orientation. I would even go and say that this is the perfect reading tablet, but also a big negative for just standard landscape use. You know, I thought we were past the one-sided speaker fad, and to see it live again on a 2015 release is disappointing, although the speaker is actually quite loud and detailed. Furthermore, the camera position and quality and the somewhat laggy performance also add up to this being one of the least competitive Android tablets in this price range, given it's priced right against the Nexus 9 or the iPad Mini 3. So let's start with the camera. This is how I would hold the tablet on a regular basis, the lip at the bottom for extra surface to grip, and I'm totally covering that front-facing cam, so if I was to Skype, regardless of the orientation, composition of that video is just terrible. And the same story continues with the Sense 8-megapixel camera on the back. Regardless of how you hold the tablet, your fingers always seem to interfere. Not only that, but the quality of the camera is absolutely horrendous. Here's a side-by-side comparison to an iPhone 5s with plenty of available light out of an airplane window, so that's not a limitation, but the image looks so washed out, the poor contrast and the detail is just not there. Now, this trio camera is meant to capture depth information too, for depth of field effects that no one should ever use because you get visible artifacts around the objects in the foreground, and having the ability to take measurements is not really a positive feature as it's not accurate, and who would ever use something like this ever. And finally, the performance is also nothing outstanding. It is running in almost pure stock Android, and that's appreciated, with max audio built in with different sound profiles. There's also a flip to silence feature that mutes notifications when the tablet is face down on a flat surface, but the animations seem to experience lag, common lag. Rotation of the screen takes a while, slow, icons take a while to load. Luckily, gaming is not really affected, playing some of the best Android titles is satisfactory. I noticed this portion in the back to also get quite warm. Also, this is the least attractive design decision with this glossy to get dirty quickly type of surface. Really, the two main thumbs up for this tablet is the build quality and battery life, lasting me an entire trip to GTC from Monday to Friday, so that's 2 full 6-hour flights plus usage throughout the week. And also this thing is super efficient when sleeping. Position of this bottom lip though feels like a massive troll because it's so awkward to use. I love this for reading, but I want the tablet for all other things too. And first impression of the display was fantastic given the high resolution and such vibrancy, but you cannot stare at something like this for hours without getting eye fatigue, and reducing brightness introduces extra mess with gamma shifting and weird toning in the shadows. I am surprised to see that Android Lollipop hasn't rolled out yet for this tablet, as that might fix the laggy UI, and if only we were given the option to change color profiles, then you might overlook the compromises. Well, that concludes this review of the Dell Venue 87000. Thank you so much for watching, and let us know the 2 most important things that you would consider in a tablet for it to be worthwhile. Leave your comments down below, make sure to subscribe for more similar content, and we'll see you in the next one.